Hey everyone, Duke Nuke 3D here again with a very quick gas mask review because today I have a mask that, or one of the masks in my collection that is not complete and is just a quick little surplus mask that I have to show off for you. Here I have the very well known and well regarded ANP-M51 mask, and this is the Belgian variant. Virtually unidentical, virtually identical to the French variant, but just with some manufacturing differences. So the ANP-M51 was designed by the French in probably the early 1950s, as hinted by the name M51, 1951, so on and so forth, and was basically a replacement for all prior World War II masks that they might have been using, such as the ANP-M31 or the Salvatore or Serra-Crute masks, or anything that they pretty much had in their military, and was the ANP-M51 was based off of the Furnez and C-38 masks, which were interestingly civilian masks. The ANP-M51 had a very, very long lifespan of service for its simplicity of design. It got used from the 1950s all the way into the Gulf War, and possibly even shortly after, until the ANP-VPF1 or ARFA mask was developed in the mid-90s, I assume, possibly even late 90s. The mask was used by a variety of different countries, but most notably, Belgium was the primary alternative user than France. The Belgian variant, as I said, virtually identical to the French. The only differences in the markings and manufacturer, as far as I know. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And I believe later variants of the Belgian ANP-M51 also had green painted lenses instead of the brown like the French used. That's pretty much it for the history. There really isn't too much to these masks. As I said, I'm missing a lot of accessories other than the mask and filter. That's literally all I have, so I'll just get down to that. Mask, very basic, very simple, but a very good design. The harness is not my favorite, but we'll get to that in a minute. The lenses are just simple, round, and they have a bit of a weird interned, I don't want to say periphery, but they're sort of cushy. I don't know how else to describe that. They're recessed in and can stretch out or be pushed in when needed, I guess. There is the front outlet assembly, which interestingly also doubles as the voice emitter in a way. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it has something to do with these holes along the edge here, I think. I'm not entirely sure, and also the fact that it is made of a very thin rubber. This is probably what I see getting damaged the most on these masks. This one obviously is dated 1966, but this is not the mask's date. I do not know the exact date of the mask itself, but the outlet valve is a stock part dated 1966, which leads me to believe that it was replaced at some point due to being damaged or something of the like. As you can see, this mask example is very used by all the scratches on the metal parts. The inlet valve, standard NATO 40mm. They've got a removable gasket there. I have no clue how to access the valve itself. It would require removing the clamps on the mask, and I don't feel like doing that, which are hidden underneath some rubber bands. It's kind of weird when masks use rubber bands to hide wire or clamps. It does use the weird US-style temple strap where it's a canvas webbing riveted onto the mask, and then there is a bridge to secure it down. The rest of the harnesses, straps don't do that. It is a very weird and complicated design. It works well, but it just, it's kind of a poor design aspect in its simplicity. You have a tab of the mask that is folded down around a buckle, or not even a buckle, a metal loop, and is secured to the mask down with another metal loop. And then the buckle is threaded through this metal loop, and then folded over, and then adjusted, secured with a third metal loop. I know, fucking really overcomplicated, and it's a big pain in the ass to undo and adjust. So this was a deal where it was adjusted once and then never adjusted again. Sort of like the PMK. But unlike the PMK, it was easier to put on due to its lower straps being detachable with this D-ring and hook system, which was kind of weird, but it worked, and it was very comfortable and worn. The harness, being a rubber harness, is actually a very comfortable harness. The rubber is very smooth and does not pull your hair a single bit. You can actually just slip it down over your head and it doesn't pull a single bit. You have a marking on the harness. You have M51 CBB. I forgot what it stands for. Like, I know what it stands for. I don't remember the exact wording. But That's what the manufacturer of the Belgian M51 says, CBB, whereas the French were produced by Guyot. There's a size 2 there, a size medium, I assume, and then 56. I'm not sure if that's the date or a patent number or introduction number. I don't know, a contract number maybe. But if it's not, and if that is the date, this mask was made in 1956. There doesn't seem to be too much else to mention about the mask, other than this very flimsy, cheap neck carry strap. I'm not sure why the French would be really using these. I thought this died out within, World War I Germany era. Neck carry straps, I just don't understand the purpose of them. I guess it makes the mask easier to carry. I mean, at the ready when you're not needing to wear the mask, but you could need to wear it again. But it just seems kind of, unnecessary and redundant. But the filter I have for the mask, which I should have gone over first, is your typical Belgian NATO 40 millimeter filter. The same type of filter that the Belgians use with their BEM4 GP and FM12 masks that they currently use today. This filter is dated 1991, I believe, if I'm reading that correctly, and really nothing else to say about it. So now, let's move on to the inside of the mask, and I'll show you some details. Also notice on this strap here that it got damaged while undoing everything. That's, again, the problem with this harness, is that it takes a lot of undue force to undo, I guess you could say. And so a small tear did develop in this harness, so I had to repair that with some rubber cement and some electrical tape for good measure. Now I'll flip the harness over, so bear with me while I'm doing that. It shouldn't take too long. So, nothing really to say about the inside. Very basic, very simple, as the rest of the mask. You can see the plastic lenses. You can see the very prominent Tissot deflector tubes, as most French masks will have, being that they are the designers of the Tissot system initially. You can see the temple strap rivets. You have this weird molded in, I don't know what the hell to describe this as. It's like some sort of, I don't really know what this molding is for right here. Some sort of cheek weld, I guess. And you have the outlet valve / voice emitter outlet right here. It's covered, or protected rather, with this weird wire mesh. I'm not sure the purpose of that, really. I guess to help protect the valve to a certain degree, but I'm not entirely sure. And the edges of the mask face blank are textured for a better grip on the face and to prevent sweat from breaking the seal, as I've mentioned before with other previous masks that do this. But that's pretty much all there is to that. So before I ramble on any further, because I feel like this review is taking way too long than it needs to be, I'll go ahead and wrap up the video. Now, as a surplus protective mask that one could use, I would say definitely. This mask is 100% completely usable today as long as it's seal checked. I would not recommend this over other more, just masks that are more qualified for the job than this one. But if you're extremely poor and you just want something that you can use as a stopgap, this would be for you. It's very simple, doesn't require a whole lot. And really the only trouble it has is its harness. That's about it. So I'm Duke Nuka 3D. Hope you enjoyed this little piece of equipment here, and I'll see you all next time.